Oh, my God. You look like the 4th of July.
We want Elle Woods to look fabulous every scene that she's in, and totally different from the scene that she was in before.
Never underestimate a woman with a French manicure and a Harvard Law degree.
All of her wardrobe has a flair, it has style, and yet it's accessible, and it's all very Elle Woods.
You have the floor lady in hot pink.
She's like a fashion genius.
The material's too delicate, it'll just fall apart.
But in 2 out of 3 home tests, it held.
When you play a character once, then you always think, oh, I should have done that, I should have done that. So it's great getting a second opportunity to go in and find an entirely new wardrobe. Sophie Carbonell did all the costumes on the movie, and she does such a great job.
She brings a great eye, tremendous talent, wonderful attitude, a great affinity for pink.
Thus I yield to my colleague, the lady in hot pink.
We're coming back to Elle Woods a few years later, and she's more adult and she has a professional job. She works in the law office. There's been a slight shift in the fact that she's older, she's more sophisticated. She's still the same person, but this needed to be reflected in her wardrobe.
I think we ended up as about 65 different wardrobe changes across the course of the movie. So, you know, in a 2-hour movie, that's every 2 minutes she's got a different outfit on.
Okay, fine, but how am I gonna do that? We're doing this really cool thing where we sort of go through different periods of time and reflect on different political figures of different eras. To Nancy, to Hillary, to Monica.
A lot of the outfits have nicknames. There's the Che Guevara outfit.
Say Bruiser's mom! Ooh, I like your necklace.
And the Gloria Steinem outfit.
Let's hit the hill.
Jackie O, The Pillbox is an immediate read.
Good morning, fellow public servants.
I wouldn't say they're references to movies, but there's definitely references to more political and social figures.
Of course, Martha Stewart Weddings recommends a 4 to 6 week window for RSVPs.
This is the coat that we find Elle Woods in at the beginning of the movie when she's working in the law office, and it's a take on a traditional pinstripe work outfit. And, you know, it's gray and pink as opposed to solid pink.
Hi, I'm Elle Woods. I'm not an intern.
Rob Cole, me neither.
And then at the beginning of Act 2, we find out this is her Jackie O outfit. This is the beginning of her time in Washington, and this is, you know, again, on a play on a very conservative woman's idea, you know, of what a politician would wear in the 60s, which we then updated for now.
I mean, it's like the time that my trainer sister's cousin's girlfriend gave her overweight Yorkies and Fem Fem because she was just a little bit fat, and it gained 3 pounds.
And at the beginning of Act 3, we find Elle in her revolutionary grassroots activist phase, and this is our take on a 70s activist.
Holy crap!
We have our fittings, we have our ideas. If she doesn't like stuff, you know, we'll try and find something else. If I feel very strongly about something for a particular reason, she'll listen to me and we'll talk about it.
Are you sure? As sure as I am that nobody looks good in paisley.
She does her thing and she's very aware of what the character is, and she knows that a lot of these things she personally would never wear, but you know, Elle Woods would wear them.
I guess I don't need a scallop trim on the outer hoop skirt.
Every once in a while I can trick her into something. There's a hat that she wears in the first act, which she hates, but I felt it was very important that she wear it, so, you know, so bless her, that stayed in.
Bruiser, your mother lives at the top secret Versace think tank. I told you they had one.
We built a lot more stuff from this movie because we had more time and more money to try and get it right and do it properly. And then at the same time, there's also, it's actually even more heavy designer influence than the first one.
I don't think I've been this excited since Gucci became a publicly traded company.
There's people who we used in the first movie who we came back to again because they made clothes that were very appropriate for Elle's character. For example, like Dolce & Gabbana, Marc Jacobs, people who does a lot more with color and were, you know, obviously not conservative.
She's so shiny.
She had some outfits that were so expensive that we couldn't even double them. And you try to have 2 of an outfit so you can put one on a double so Reese could, say, be changing and we could be shooting our double from, say, the back walking up the stairs or something. But some of the outfits were so unique and expensive that we couldn't have the double wear them, so they just had to be Reese or nobody.
You ready to hit the ground running?
Are these not my comfortable heels?
We play a lot with the palettes. The other characters around her, I would say, are more downplayed than they are in everyday life. I mean, we know that, for example, female senators wear red and they wear blue and they wear, you know, quite outrageous colors. In our world, for example, Sally Fields is always in browns and navies and grays. And the same for Timothy and Rena and Grace. Everybody else has their color minimalized so that Elle's character in a physical environment, to the eye, will always physically pop because of her color scheme.
What about these boots? And they were like 6-inch tall, blue metallic with straps and like dangling leather prods and whatnot hanging off of it. And I could have never in a million years thought of that. She just held it up and we put it on. Amazing.
Josh made the cruise boat pull over in Puerto Vallarta.
That created a lot of the character, actually.
Yeah, big time.
What if I was to tell you, Congresswoman Madeline Melanie Croft, that you owe your raspberry macaroon to him?
Again, that was another thing that people loved. They loved the dog, and they loved that the dog had clothes, you know, when he was wearing them. So we went into that a lot more in this one, and because we were going in it with, you know, with more time, we were able to match up a lot of his clothes with her outfits, and, you know, specifically design them so that they complemented them and that they were doing the same thing that she was doing. Many of Elle's outfits actually have matching outfits for Bruiser, and this one is one of my favorites. This is the blue velour tracksuit that has its own special matching hoodie for him. We work with a company called Fifi and Romeo who make dog clothes, and they have good silhouettes. So what I did was gave them sketches and swatches and ideas and just said to them, okay, you take this and this is what I want it to look like. You do this for me, because that's what they do, and they do it very well.
Welcome. You little shook.
Well, I actually think that's one of the most enjoyable things about this movie, as well as getting to work with, you know, great clothes and all these great colors. It's a really good opportunity to heighten comedic moments with the wardrobe again and again and again.
What would I do without you?